Welcome to Anil Nair classes. We are a company of good teachers. Today we are going to discuss about the detailed analysis of IIFT 2012 exam. This exam is to get admissions for an MBA program for 2013 to 15. Before we get into the detailed analysis, I recommend every one of the student who is watching the video to download the PDF document present at the bottom of the YouTube video link, so that the PDF will act as a handy document during the discussions. Please do it. Now I have Mr. Kalyan and Mr. Sareen who wrote today's IIFT examination. So let us have a conversational communication with both of them regarding today's paper and what was their number of attempts and what is the expected cutoff according to them and other views, suggestions. Hi Sareen.
Hi.
Hi Kalyan.
Hello.
Right. So IIFT exam, how was it?
Well, the exam when compared to previous years was little bit on an easier side when compared to the previous years, but the paper overall was of moderate difficulty with equal number of easy and difficult questions and moderate questions placed all through the paper.
Is it the first time you are writing IIFT?
No, I have been taking the exam consistently for the past 3 years.
Okay.
So that is how I could correlate with the previous exam.
Right. How about Kalyan?
I don't compare with the previous year papers because I have not attempted the past year. For this year, what I felt is like it was on the easier end because I could attempt maximum number of questions.
Okay.
Out of the given 128 questions, I have attempted around 81 questions.
Right. Let us look at the detailed analysis of today's paper. Now, before we get into the analysis, we Anil Nair classes recommend every one of the student to take the analysis. These are purely personalized analysis, and please consider all the views as a pointer, not as a guide for doing an self-analysis over your cutoffs and everything. So all the predictions and forecasts are personalized and they may have inconsistencies and cannot be taken as a sacrosanct. Now IIFT 2012 paper, any surprise elements, Kalyan, this time? With respect to the paper structure as such, is it what is specified in the IIFT website? I think there were no...
The thing is like in the previous year, I don't see any sectional cutoff mentioned.
Okay.
But in this year, I see that sectional cutoff is there. So I'm worried like how they choose the sectional cutoffs. How they rate and all that.
Okay. Sareen, I heard that this time it is mentioned in the paper that there will be sectional cutoffs.
Yes, it was very clearly mentioned that there are sectional cutoffs and students are asked to judiciously in all the 4 sections. So I think there will be a good breakup across all the sections.
What do you think, Kalyan, that there will also be cutoffs in the subsections of a section? I heard that there were 2 sections where there were subsections.
Maybe not sure, but they expect not to get into a negative score in each subsection.
So to be on the safer side, I think not getting a negative score in the subsections is a safe play.
You both anonymously agree that 0 or negative score should be avoided in any subsection.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Now this time there were about 4 sections. What according to you, Sareen, is the most difficult section out of the 4 sections?
Well, of the 4 sections, I felt DI, like usual, is little bit calculation intensive, but which was comparatively easier than the previous years. But even then, of the 4 sections, I think DI was little bit difficult to score.
Now, how do you rate yourself with respect to DI module on your own performance level? Do you consider it as a strength area for you or a weak area?
DI is definitely not a weak area because I do well if given time. But since IIFT is known for very cumbersome calculations, I felt DI was on the difficult side.
Kalyan, which section according to is?
For me, it was LR and DI because I cannot comment on verbal ability and reading comprehension. Generally, I attempt a very less number of questions because that I don't feel it as a scoring section for me.
Okay. Now, I got a mail from few students. One of the students said that this time quantitative aptitude and LRDI section wise the sectional cutoff will be there on the higher side. Do you agree, Kalyan?
right? I do agree with that because quantitative ability, out of 25 questions, I could solve around 20 questions. I've allocated only 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
So I think like even all the students might answer more number of questions. So the sectional cutoff might increase for quantitative ability.
GK and English usage. What do you think will be the cutoff?
GK, there were very good number of factual based questions and questions from the current affairs. So I think a good well prepared student will as well go through the current affairs, so he might be able to pick around 3 to 4 questions, easy questions. So I think based on my experience, I think around 2 marks 2 to 2.5 will be the maximum cutoff for a GK. I think it will be around 1.5 to 2 on a safer side.
So minimum 2.5 marks according to you
is very safe.
Is on the safer side. Kalyan?
We cannot judge about the sectional cutoff in this section because a student might get around good number of good score in remaining 3 sections, and because of this only taking this as a criteria, they might not choose this as one of the important sections. Okay. Maybe that's what I am thinking about. IIFT might think in a different way. We cannot take any chances.
So let us get into the section wise analysis. Now important points, and most of the points that are given in the slide are self-explanatory. As stated in the paper, there is a differential marking. The marks ranges from 0.50 to 1 mark per question. There is a negative marking, and there is no sectional limit. Good attempts. Now I personally think that the good attempts according to me is up and above 70 questions with a minimum 85% accuracy. What do you think, Sarin? What do you think is the ideal number of attempts according to you?
Going by the level of difficulty, since it has reduced compared to previous years, and it is similar on par with last year, and since last year didn't have sectional cutoffs, I think people must have utilized their time in maximizing their score. But since it had sectional cutoff, people are bound to do well in all the sections. I think the cutoff might little come down by 1 or 2 marks. That's about it. And based on that, around 70 above questions with 80 to 85% accuracy will definitely fetch you a score above 43 or 44.
And how many attempts you made today's paper?
I made 76 attempts.
76. Kalyan?
Yeah, I have attempted around 81 questions.
81 is a very good attempt. And what do you think will be your accuracy?
Accuracy around 80%.
80%
accuracy.
Right. Now we got another mail from one of the other student. Cutoff in IIFT 2011 paper, the last year paper, was around 45 marks. And what do you think is the cutoff for IIFT 2012 paper? And viewers are recommended to make a note of this point. In 2009 and 2010, the cutoff for IIFT was around 36 to 37 marks. The partial reason or one of the reasons for the cutoff to go up substantially in the last year was that the number of students called for the second stage was reduced by around 10% in 2011 as compared to 2010. My experience is any score up and above 43 should be a good score to fetch a call. Sarin, your reactions?
Yes, I would say little to be on a safer side. I think 44 or 45 plus is a very safe score to fetch a call, because you never know how easy the paper has become this year to the students.
Okay.
And since the competition is increasing every year, so I think around 45 will be a very safe bet.
Right. Now, just for the viewers to add on to what Sarin is saying, 45 plus according to Sarin should definitely give you a call. Am I right? This is how I understood?
Yes.
Okay. Kalyan, 45 plus according
provided you clear all the sectional cutoffs.
Provided the sectional cutoffs, all the conditions. Anil Nair says 43 plus, Sarin says 45 plus. Kalyan.
I don't think 45 is a huge score. I don't think that will be the cutoff score.
Okay.
It might be around 40. The only reason is sectional cutoffs. If you clear the sectional cutoffs, then automatically your score will be around, the person has to clear all the cutoffs. Then generally they don't consider the total cutoff.
Okay.
It will be sectional cutoffs, that is important rather than the total score.
Okay. Ideal strategy. Sareen, what is your strategy while attempting the IIFT paper today?
I went by the order given in the paper, which was my chosen order, fortunately. And I would say smart picking of questions, good easy questions from the paper and solving them would actually get you a higher score and pace up and get more chance to clear the cutoff. Because there were little questions which might actually consume more of time, and if you identify them and dodge them, then you will be able to score more. So you have a better chance.
So Sareen's strategy is he attempted the paper in the order the paper is given. Kalyan, you developed your own strategy?
Yes. Actually, I have started off with GK and then I have moved on to English and English usage and reading comprehension, and then I have attempted quantitative ability, and then the remaining LR and DI.
Sareen, 76 attempted. Are you expecting a call from IIFT?
Well, it depends on the sections actually. I'm a little bit skeptical about general knowledge section. So if I clear that section, I think I'll stand a very good chance of clearing the cutoff.
General knowledge, how many attempts?
I did, since I have very bad accuracy, very low accuracy in GK, I went for a toss and I attempted around 16 questions, of which I am expecting around 8 correct.
8 correct.
So at least 8 should get me through the cutoff.
Kalyan, 81 attempts.
Yeah, out of that I have attempted around 16 questions in GK.
GK.
Yeah, 16 questions. Accuracy, it will be on higher end because I have attempted only those questions which I knew them.
Okay.
I have not taken any chances in GK because it's like, out of 4 choices you have to choose one. It's like almost 25% probability, so I didn't took any chance.
Okay. Now we got another mail from one of the student. Student feels that the LRDI module, that is section number 4, is difficult and there were good number of difficult questions. Sareen, your reactions?
Well, I thought since DI was given a little higher weightage when compared to LR, I thought scoring more in LR is easier because you need to invest less amount of time, because this has been in the past years. So I started with LR and I could do maximum questions I could, and then I moved on to DI, wherein I could solve around 7 questions in 15 minutes, which I think is a very good. It's not good, it's a decent.
Is it calculation intensive compared to the last year paper?
Fortunately, the choosing of the set is very important this time, because there was a set which was there's a set on ores and minerals, I think, which was supposedly very easy when compared to the other sets. So if had I chosen that set, then I would have attempted more number of questions in DI. So choosing the set is also very important in the data interpretation when compared to the other sets.
Kalyan, do you agree with Sareen's view? Question number 115 to 120, there was a caselet which was primarily based on very simple understanding of data interpretation.
Yes,
do you agree?
Definitely right, because I have attempted that question at the end. I have allocated around 8 minutes of time. I have done it in a hurry because I was doing it at the end. I have attempted all 6 questions. I was able to do that. Okay. So, and the remaining questions, it's like, as Sareen said, it was on a difficult side, and it was calculated. It was more on calculations rather than taking. There is no logic in that. It's all calculative intensive.
The next slide shows the comparative analysis of previous year IIFT papers and this year paper with our expected projected cutoff. So when I say 2009 to 2011, that denotes that in 2008 IIFT exam is conducted to get an admission into 2009 to 2011 program. This is an IIFT analysis paper, comparative analysis. It's self-explanatory. Section-wise analysis. There are about 6 sections on which questions were asked. There were 2 sections on which there were 2 more subsections were included. Reading comprehension, English usage, general knowledge, quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, logical reasoning. By looking at this slide, for every right answer there are 2 sections which will give you 1 mark per right answer. So maximizing your number of attempts in quantitative aptitude and data interpretation would have fetched you good marks. What was your number of attempts, Sareen, in quantitative aptitude?
I attempted 20 questions in quantitative aptitude. Out of 25, I took around 30 to 35 minutes.
30 to 35 minutes for 20 questions. Right. Kalyan?
Even I have attempted around 20 questions.
Okay, okay.
And I have took around 30 minutes.
Right. You prepared for CAT also this time, Kalyan and Sarin?
Yes.
Yes, I took CAT.
Right, right. Okay. English comprehension, reading comprehension. It is one of the most dreaded section for me. RC. What is the length of the passage? Kalyan?
Actually, as you said, like the passages were lengthy, but if you have chosen it right passages, then definitely you can attempt around 8 to 10 questions easily, given around 15 minutes of time. So, I mean, the thing is, I didn't took any chances. I have attempted only 6 questions in reading comprehension.
Okay. Sarin, what was your strategy while attempting RC? Is it solving few questions from multiple passages or all the questions from one single passage?
Well, it actually depends. IIFT is known for lengthy passages and factual based questions every year. This time, fortunately, the questions are more of factual based, so I think going to the questions of a passage and then going back to the passage and searching for the answer would have helped this time. And choosing right passage would actually fetch you marks more than choosing ambiguous one.
Okay.
And fortunately there is less ambiguity in the passages, so I think all the passages are on the easier to moderate side.
So the questions derived from the passage, there are no inference based questions, most are direct based questions.
Most of them were direct,
right,
factual.
There were about 4 questions from economy based, there were 4 questions from psychology, there were 8 questions from miscellaneous topics. Your number of attempts, Sarin?
I attempted 4 questions of the economics passage on business and 1 question from TV show analysis passage of Kaun Banega Crorepati, and one that I just skimmed through the questions and I chose 1 question. So I attempted around 5 questions.
Okay. Kalyan?
Actually, I have attempted only one, completely one RC passage. It was economics based. It was on profits and profitability and all that. The thing I found is, like, you have to go through complete passage. Skimming would have not helped over here. You have the person who have gone through the complete passage, he could have definitely attempted all the 4 questions, and he got. The accuracy also will be high for this passage. And there was one more question in other passage. It was like, what is the synonym of vapid? It was like, if you know the meaning of that, you don't need to go through the passage also. It was like easier one. And also I have attempted one more question from the same passage.
Right now we got a mail from one of the students. She is saying that there is an error in one DI question. Kalyan, your take?
Yeah, I have attempted that question. I found one question, ambiguous one. That question was on total number of cars sold when compared to previous year. It was, in my set it was last question.
Okay.
So it was basically on number of FIGO cars. That difference between the number of FIGO cars from the previous year to the present year. I got the answer around 5022. There was no answer in the answer options. The nearest answer I have chosen, it was around 4860.
Okay. Sarin, your take? Do you agree?
IIFT is known for little 1-2 errors every year. So I think if this error might be scraped off or might be awarded mark, basically the decision is up to the committee. So I think this question can be omitted.
Okay. Now these were the distribution across various topics. Parajumble 2 questions, antonyms 2 questions, synonyms 2 questions. English comprehension, is it in accordance with the IIFT pattern?
English usage is little bit on the easier side when compared to last year, but I think since English verbal ability section will take comparatively less time than solving an RC, I think one can maximize their score in the EU section and then move on to RC. This is what I followed.
No Italian words, no German words.
Fortunately, there are no frightening words this time.
Okay.
No alien words.
Right. Okay. Kalyan, your take on English comprehension?
Right. If you take English usage as a different part, then it was on an easier end, because I have maximized my score as I did not attend more number of questions in reading comprehension. I felt like it was on an easier end. I attempted less number of questions, but this time I have attempted good number of questions in English usage.
Okay. There is a student who SMS'd me. There were few questions from syllogism which were a part of logical reasoning, not a part of English comprehension.
Right.
Is the info true?
Right. We got 2 questions from syllogisms that was part of logical reasoning.
Right. There were questions from analogy, fill in the blank, sentence correction, English, sentence replacement there were. So we Anil Nair classes believe that the number of attempts in English comprehension should not go below 23, up and about 23 with minimum 80% accuracy. I think students should be there on the safe side. General knowledge, umpteen number of mails, umpteen number of SMS, GK, the most dreaded section in IIFT. Kalyan, your take on general knowledge.
I have attempted, as I have already said, I have attempted only those questions which I have already knew answer to those questions. I have not taken any chance in GK. So I have attempted around 16 questions in time of 5 minutes. I have allocated very less amount of time.
Sarin, how did you prepare for GK?
Well, GK, I think the questions were of moderate level because it had a good number of factual based questions which could have been known to people if they prepared from a particular material from some coaching center. So I think they would have picked some 4 to 5 questions from the factual based questions, and there are, if one followed the current affairs regularly, I think 2 to 3 more questions could be picked, and I think cutoff, which is actually very debatable, but I think not more than 2 marks would be the cutoff.
Quantitative aptitude. For all the non-engineering students, phobia of mathematics. We just got another phone call from one of the students. Thank God most of the questions are from arithmetic. What's your take, Sarin?
Well, the questions are really, arithmetic has been given a little higher weightage this year, and I think the difficulty level of the questions has reduced. That is, the questions are more of formula and conceptual application.
No, you both have attempted good number of questions in quantitative aptitude. Is math section your strongest area?
Yeah, me being an engineer, since I have been good at numbers and mathematics, so I think that has helped me to attempt 22 questions out of 25 in 35 minutes.
Okay.
So around 15 questions would be a very good attempt. I mean, it would be a good attempt for anybody.
Okay. There were also good number of questions from probability this time.
Yeah, that is one of surprises. Right. And one more thing, apart from arithmetic giving more weightage, apart from that, it was equally split around various topics. I felt like that.
Right. So the students can see the topic-wise distribution with the number of questions. We expect that up and above 16 attempts with 80% accuracy should be there on a safer side. Logical reasoning and data interpretation. This was the distribution. There were 12 questions from analytical reasoning. There were 9 questions from calculation based, 7 questions from bar chart, 1 question from logic based, and 8 questions from miscellaneous. There was also a question where there is a mixed graph, and we think that the number of attempts should be around 22, distributed LR12 and DI10 with minimum 80% accuracy. Sarin and Kalyan, what's your final take? What do you think?
As I said, the question paper has been equally distributed with good number of easy and more number of moderate questions and a few difficult questions. I think choosing the right questions would be the key for any student to get and maximize, through the score, cut off and maximize the score. And I think around 44 to 45 would be the cutoff for this year IIFT 2013-50 paper.
Kalyan.
Yeah, I feel like it was on the easier end. So I mean, because if you see my attempts, it shows you like it was on easier end. I've attempted equally in all the sections. I didn't took chance. And one more thing is, like as Sarin said, we have to choose easy out of the difficult ones. That's the most important criteria here to maximize your score.
Now, with respect to sectional cutoff, I want to make a point here. Any score which is negative or 0 is not recommended, whether it is subsections or sections. So sectional cutoff by definition with respect to IIFT paper is quite dicey in nature. So we expect that an overall score of 43 plus with a very marginal score in GK and other sections should definitely give you a call. And we wish all the viewers more and most in everything they aspire in life. Thank you. And I also recommend all the viewers, if you are also writing for any other competitive exam, to go through our Anil Nair classes video and download a 1.5 hour shortcut video for your own good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kalyan and Sarin. Thank you.
Thank you.